So I'm David Meunier. I am professor in South Brittany University. I am specialist of marine geology, and I am here in order to work with my colleagues from US, with Magali Knock and Franz Meyer, in order to help the students to discuss about all the tools in order to monitor the coastal area related to the climate change, like flooding events that we can maybe record sometime. And we have selected at the first time France and the Gulf of Morbihan in order to share with them what we can observe over there, and they will compare later on with Japan and Indonesia. So this is why I'm here, and so happy to host all my colleagues from USA.
My name is Magali Koch. I'm a research associate professor at Boston University in Boston, USA. And I'm a geologist by training. I work at the Center for Remote Sensing, which is affiliated to the Earth and Environment Department. And I'm also the program director of this summer training workshop or training program funded by NSF, and it's actually an opportunity for advanced graduate students to learn about coastal zone hazards and coastal zone problems.
So my name is Franz Meyer. I'm from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. I'm an expert in microwave remote sensing, which is Earth observation using radar satellites. Those are useful because they can penetrate clouds, they can observe the planet 24/7. I'm here as one of the trainers for this course, and I'm focusing on microwave remote sensing and the applications to coastal problems and coastal hazards. Coming from Alaska, that's certainly a big step up for me. And I'm not surprised, but I'm confirmed with sort of this idea of collaboration and everybody sort of working on the same things and working together. And so I think this is a good example, this entire course, having people from different countries work together on a joint problem, and we are hoping that this is the start of a collaboration with your university and the region here in France.
My name is Joshua Himmelstein. I'm a third-year PhD student at the UNC University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. There I study coastal geomorphology, which means that I understand how coastal landscapes, the ones that we often live on, change within human timescales. So I'm looking at specifically salt marshes and barrier islands, these really vibrant ecosystems on the coast, and understanding how the things we as humans do, whether it's directly changing sediment supplies by cutting down forests or putting in dams, how things like that might affect the resilience of these ecosystems of salt marshes or barrier islands, because these systems depend on sediment that exists in the water. So we track the path that a lot of this sediment takes and try to find out where it ends up, where it spends its life after it's moved from its first source. And so this involves a lot of sediment coring, extracting sediment from beneath our feet and finding how old it is. It also involves flying drones to map coastal ecosystems before and after events. So like a hurricane that we have in North Carolina a lot, we track the kind of the morphology change through time on the coast. And then also, finally, I work with some open source sensors that a colleague developed, so we can actually track sediment that's floating in the water and see where it's getting on the marsh or in our estuaries, and try to understand, again, the resilience of these coastal settings where a lot of us choose to live. And so I've been doing that for the last 3 years in the Rodriguez lab at UNC. And here in France, I see a lot of similar systems, but with a lot larger tides compared to what I normally work with. And so that exposes a lot more, a variety of environments that we don't really see in coastal North Carolina. We see more rocky intertidal environments here. We see greater zonation of the things and the species and the vegetation that lives in this intertidal. So it's a really nice contrast to the system that I am more familiar with back home in the States.
My name is Zoe Bessin. I'm working on coastal geography, more precisely on cliff erosion in France and in Greece. I'm attending to this training in order to better understand interdisciplinarity in the field of coastal risks. And also, I think it's important to have some networks with other universities in the world, precisely to share data, because I know that in my field I have some difficulties to find field data on some of my study areas, like in Greece. It's like recent research for the site of Zakynthos Island. And so I'm really looking in finding new collaboration in other countries, and why not with USA.
My name is Catherine Leahing. I am a first-year PhD student at Stanford University. I'm in the interdisciplinary program in environmental resources. So my focus is marine systems, and as well as looking at the law. So I'm in an interdisciplinary program. So it's very important to me to be able to study the coastline, to get the technology and the know-how in order to do my research. One of the things that attracted me to the program was looking at coastal hazards and coastal resilience, so that I can apply that kind of technology to my work in the Caribbean, because I'm looking at Caribbean coastlines and trying to make them as resilient as possible, especially during climate change. So that's one of the things that drew me to this program.